In the next few minutes, you'll see portions of some of the 14 lessons in the Davenport training system. The section that follows is from Lesson 1. The trainee will learn the purpose of each of the major machine components and the types of operations performed on the machine. You will see a portion that covers some of the machining components.
Used on the cross slides and tool arms are called forming tools. The purpose of the cross slide or tool arm is to move the tools that will machine outside diameters or cut off the finished part. Each cross slider arm will perform a different step in the forming of the part's outside dimensions. The fifth position tool swing arm moves the cutoff tool to cut off the finished part from the bar stock. The work chute carries the part away from the work area into some type of container. The second type of metal cutting components on the machine are the tool spindles. There are 5 tool spindles. Their purpose is to perform all end work during machining. Examples of this type of work include drilling, reaming, broaching, recessing, and threading. Some machining operations require the end tools to rotate. Normally, all except the first position tool spindle may be driven for this purpose if necessary. The cross slides, tool arms...
Lesson 2 explains the stock feed cycle and the components that make up the stock feeding system, including collets, pushers, feed fingers, stock stop, and the stock feed slide. With this understanding, the operator will be able to quickly evaluate and correct feeding problems such as short feed. Lesson 3 explains how to remove and replace pushers, feed fingers, and collets and set collet tension. The segment that follows covers collet removal.
Once the pusher is removed, the collet wrench can be inserted into the back of the spindle. Rotate the collet wrench until you feel the pins engage the collet. The brass bar can now be placed into the spindle gears. The handle can now be inserted into the collet wrench to break loose the collet. Turn the wrench in the right-hand direction. The collet can now be unscrewed and removed. Be sure to clean the spindle and collet with a brush and an approved solvent. Replace the collet if it is worn or broken. To insert the new collet, place the collet wrench through the back of the spindle. Align the collet wrench pins with the holes in the collet. You will need to push this bar on the end of the wrench to engage the pins. Screw the collet into the inner spindle. Tighten the collet with the brass bar placed to keep the spindle gear from turning. Once it is tight, you can remove the wrench and the brass bar. Whenever the collet is replaced, the collet tension must be checked and adjusted if necessary. To do this, hand crank the machine forward to the completion of index. Place a bar end in the collet.
Lesson 4 explains how to read gear charts and select and install the correct feed and spindle speed gears as called